Garcia is in for Mondi. Danny Carvajal replacing Lucas Vasquez. Alaba for Nacho. And Rudiger. For Militao. So nearly completely different. But what we now do have is Vinicius Junior out there. And Rodrigo will be his strike partner.
And Fran Garcia getting his first touch back as a Real Madrid player after a very successful time at my former club, Rayo Vallecano. And it seems to be a little bit more of a kind of a theme that we're seeing now is teams selling players with a buy-on clause or a buy-back clause, as opposed to just that continual loan spell. And Fran Garcia getting that opportunity to go out and mature as a player, and now getting the opportunity to come back to Real Madrid.
Yeah, here he is. Wears number 20 now. 3 years with Vallecano. Vini Junior. Introduce himself to the crowd. They've been waiting for him. So the only Real Madrid players to survive the cold from the first half: Jude Bellingham, Federico Valverde, and Andre Lunin in goal. As Modric gets a welcome to the game elbow, and a yellow card has been handed out. It appears that Luca Romero may be the recipient for this transgression. Yeah, I don't think he can have too many complaints.
Yeah, very odd. You know, I'm not quite sure why you'd kind of leave yourself in a preseason friendly, but
well, he's still got the adrenaline coursing through the veins, hasn't he, from the first half strike.
There's a few players I've known that would have kicked their grandma in a friendly, but
well, here's Rodrigo trying to light up the crowd here with the right sort of service touched on. It was by Carvajal. And this time Modric is the aggressor. Just confirmation of the players and the numbers who are now on. Tchouaméni, an interesting case. Casey, after his 1 year, lots of rumours swirling that could in fact be on his way out of Real Madrid. Liverpool supposed suitors.
Yeah, it wasn't as if last season he kind of broke in and really established himself. I don't think there was an expectation that he was going to, but because he didn't, maybe there was a thought process from some other big clubs that he could possibly be available. So far, I think Real Madrid have pushed a lot of that conversation aside. But
well, there was a Casemiro-sized hole to fill, wasn't there, for Tchouaméni? And then, as you say, I'm sure he completely filled it. Taken in by Krunic, who had some impressive moments in the first half, navigating his way through midfield territory again. Romero. Luca Romero, Casey, grew up on the island of Ibiza. Pretty nice place to come into the world, and not known for producing too many footballers. Here's Bellingham. Inside from Vini Junior. It's Fran Garcia. And now Alaba, who made his debut in this pre-season fixture exactly 2 years ago for Real Madrid. Bellingham 2 years on, doing just that tonight. Sportiello. Rolling it out to Calabria. And that's the gentlest of nudges in the back on Romero. Fran Garcia had a pretty good day, didn't he? Same day he signed for Real Madrid, he was called up by the Spanish national team for the first time. It was in the Nations League.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting now to see after, like you mentioned, that 3-year successful spell at Rayo, where he was really able to get the minutes that he needed to mature, and then there's no illusion that now taking that step up, and it's a big step up to Real Madrid or back to Real Madrid, to see if he truly can establish himself as a Champions League regular, in a team that's expected to win every match they play.
Yeah, it's a very different sort of fishbowl you're in and pressure you're under, isn't it?
Well, and that's highlighted by, as soon as you sign with Real Madrid, you get that call to the national team. So yes, it is. It's a big step, and I'm sure one that Fran Garcia is really excited to make.
It's Antonio Rudiger, increasing the ex-Chelsea ranks out there tonight. Overhit ball from Tchouaméni. Ancelotti, Real Madrid coach, at the start of his 3rd season in charge. What is his 2nd spell on the club, and all the indications are it will be his last with Brazil, the national team waiting in the wings. Loftus-Cheek to Romero. Played from Fikayo Tomori. What do you reckon about Ancelotti, Casey, and the Brazil national team job?
I think it's a very interesting prospect, particularly for Brazil. I think it's always when there's that cloud of just information that isn't direct. There's always this little, is it happening? Is it not happening? Why has it not been official? Is it so it's been very interesting, particularly with when you're as big of a club as Real Madrid, that there is that speculation on your manager.
Well, he'll still be managing Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo if he does indeed go to the Seleção. It was almost as if Carlo Ancelotti didn't want to be the one leaving Madrid, and Real Madrid didn't want to be the one letting Carlo Ancelotti go. So there was kind of this standoff, very public standoff with Brazil.
And it's also, when you're the club the size of Real Madrid, you don't like to be the one that is our manager's leaving by choice or right, leaving at this stage. There's always this idea. I mean, look what happened, with the whole Lopetegui situation with the national team, and then saying that he was going to go to Real Madrid, and then the national team said, well, okay, if you want to go to Real Madrid, how about you go right now?
Yeah.
And not wait for this tournament with the national team. So yeah, it is. It'll be very interesting to watch as the season progresses, and if this gets clearer or if it just gets cloudier.
Modric steering it for Carvajal. Rodrigo looking to turn on the jets. Rodrigo! Well, all of a sudden, it opened up for Rodrigo with a scintillating surge inside. His jabbed effort brought the best out of Sportiello.
Yeah, for so much in that first half, it was a case of when the good play led to the opportunity to get the shot on goal, a Milan player blocked it before Sportiello had to make the save, and you know, that time Rodrigo opened up the space and Sportiello had to be quick down to his right to come up with a nice save.
And then some frustration from Modric as he let the ball go. Teammate not on the same wavelength, but Carvajal certainly showing the normal hunger.
Yeah, and then the frustration again. You know, we talked about this, you know, the first game where passes will be off, but Rodrigo just pulls it inside. Didn't want to hit it with his right foot for some reason, didn't want to hit it with his left and goes with the outside of the right, and in the end, he forces a fine save from Sportiello.
Well, he got 9 goals last year in La Liga, also credited with 9 assists.
Yeah, he'll look to improve on that, and particularly so will Real Madrid. When you look at the goals and assists, that will be none available with Karim Benzema no longer in the squad. So players will have to pick up that slack, and Rodrigo will be one that they'll be looking to improve off of the totals from last year.
He grabbed both goals in the Copa del Rey final against Osasuna as well. Chipped in with some of the Champions League, but can Rodrigo and Vinny Jr. both up there goal-scoring tallies? It's one of the tantalizing questions this year for Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti, who managed 423 games for tonight's opponents, AC Milan. He was there 8 years. And seeing his team trying to come back.
No.
Oh, it's a gift. Well, Valverde will take the credit, but it's Sportiello who will take the blame. And this crowd at the Rose Bowl coming to life.
Yeah, Rodrigo finds Valverde, and he just kind of tops this shot, and I mean, does it take a slight deflection? Yes, but still, Sportiello just makes the mistake and pays the price.
Oh,
who would ever want to be a goalkeeper,
Who would want to be a goalkeeper, Casey?
Yeah.
I've never understood.
No, me either. Unfortunately, it was too late when I figured that out.
Can be the loneliest position in the world, can't it?
Particularly minutes earlier when you make a really nice save.
Yeah.
Against Rodrigo, that if that had gone in, nobody would have thought twice about it. But then the shot from distance fools you, and you become the fool.
Oh, it's picked off now, and Valverde's at it again! Well, absolutely nothing Sportiello could do about this one. Federico Valverde pouncing on the loose ball and pounding it home. And in the space of 2 minutes, Real Madrid are level.
Well, it was AC Milan that capitalized off of Real Madrid's mistakes in the first half. And to start this second half, it's Real Madrid's opportunity to capitalize off of the AC Milan mistakes. And Valverde punishes comfortably as he smashes the ball home from the top of the 18.
And a look of pure bewilderment from Stefano Pioli. What just happened seemed to be written all over his face. I mean, 2 defensive catastrophes back to back, Casey, in a short space of time. Valverde, the happy beneficiary on both times.
Yeah, now it's really a case of your squad kind of recognizing, okay, we've been punched in the mouth here to start this second half. Now, how do you react? And managers want to see that. They know that you're not always going to have it your way. So, okay, you made some mistakes, you paid the price. Now let's see, can you turn things around? Can you change this momentum, or do you completely collapse? And those are ways that you can really find out the character of your team. And this next few minutes is going to be really important for AC Milan to see how they respond. Because yet there has to be an assumption within the next 5 or 10 minutes there's going to be wholesale changes in Milan's side. So see how they respond now after the difficulties to start this second half.
Yeah. Difficulties is very apt indeed. And Stefano Pioli not making any switches at halftime at all. As opposed to 8 for Real Madrid, but you can't legislate for the sort of defensive errors Pioli's team has produced now. Pulisic trying to get back to where he was in the first half. It's a slaloming run. He lost his footing, as did Carvajal.
Yeah, I think that was I think a no call was probably the right decision. But again, Christian Pulisic being the protagonist, coming in off that left-hand side and created problems in the first half. Assist off of the corner for the opening goal. 2 or 3 other chances where he took players on, put dangerous balls in the box. Yeah, it was one thing doing it in that first game against third-tier opposition. It's a little different doing it against the likes of Real Madrid.
Simic sliding in definitively. Stefano Pioli has never coached a game against Real Madrid before. His long coaching career is now the start of his 5th season with AC Milan. It never lasted more than 2 years at any previous job, Casey, that he'd had with the likes of Fiorentina and Lazio, Inter, Bologna.
Yeah, which in some ways you'd say sometimes it's hard to get things done so quickly, and to have that enough success to give yourself a chance. Give yourself that chance to get better, to make those improvements.
Another Real Madrid change coming.
Looks like just a slip from Pulisic, and then trying to recover. Commits the foul.
And it'll be the end of the road, the first road for Jude Bellingham. At least shone at times in the first half, some good little combinations.
Well, and really what they're looking for Jude Bellingham is to be that box-to-box midfielder with the creative flair. And look, they're few and far between in world football, and he definitely showed moments in that first half why Real Madrid made the $100 million commitment to bring him from Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, just a tantalizing glimpse of what is to come as Bellingham makes way for young Nico Paz. And in comes the free kick. Rudiger giving chase. Just about kept it in play, did well. Now Vinny Jr. 2 for company. Rudiger helping it along to Paz, getting his first touch. Vinicius outside of the foot. He was going for that.
I'm not sure he was, Adrian. He kind of put his hand up to apologize to his teammates. So if he was, it was a pretty optimistic ball to kind of just flick to the far post. Yeah, you could just see it was Sportiello just kind of stepped aside and put his hand up into that corner. Always going over, but audacious.
Yes.
Which we know he's capable of doing and capable of trying, but in some ways then you just got to hold your hand up because players are running around the pitch and you're giving possession away.
It's Fran Garcia on the run here.
Well, something he did really well in the way that Rayo Vallecano played, and the wing backs getting forward and the outside backs committed, and there was a great opportunity in that commitment to get into the space to put a dangerous ball in the box.
Here's Carvajal. It's Rodrigo. Cohesive build-up again. Too much for Vinny Jr. and he's not going to be able to track it down either.
Yeah, he puts his hand up knowing that the idea was right, the execution not where it needed to be. But you know, look, we know that when Real Madrid are in full flow, they're a difficult opposition. And this second half with that little dynamic addition of Rodrigo and Vinny Jr., it's forced mistakes that Milan will look back on and say, yeah, thank God it's preseason. But again, they're not going to be the only team that's going to get punished by Real Madrid this year.
Well, it looks as though wholesale changes are forthcoming for AC Milan. Seeing at least 6 or 7 white shirts down beneath us, spotting your picture there, getting ready. Romero on the chase. Lunin venturing out to meet him. Calabria's throw to Loftus-Cheek. Calabria trying to play it back to him. Unfortunate slip from Paz. And then overhit from the back by Tomori, and this perhaps will give Stefano Pioli the chance to make the switches. No, not happening quite yet, and it's another Real Madrid attack instead. Rodrigo has his work cut out, does keep it in, and then beats the first man. Rodrigo, like he wasn't there, comes back for more against Florenzi. Carvajal. Well defended by Tomori, who is gasping for breath.
Well, it was Rodrigo looked like he'd created the space twice to put the ball in the box, and it was well recovered 2 times to make sure that the only option Rodrigo had was to play the ball back. And then as the ball got played in, it was cleared out for the throw-in, but this might be as it still continues a Real Madrid throw.
The cavalry is coming for AC Milan. Here's Colombo, probably knowing it's his last contribution. It's a nice flick too to Pavega, who's on the move.
Yeah, just held on the ball too long, allowed Rudiger the opportunity to get back and make the challenge. Yeah, that's that difference. That difference between being that young player, getting into these types of matches, understanding you just don't have the time and space that you would have at a lower level.
Loftus-Cheek running into resistance, and now the midfield quarters are pretty empty as Paz is able to saunter forward.
Yeah, but Milan did a really good job of just keeping those 6 players back to make sure that it wasn't a clear break for Real Madrid.
Rodrigo, good save. Sportiello down low.
Yeah, it came through a crowd. Sportiello saw it late and was able to recover well down to his left and come up with a decent save.
It was actually Vinny Jr. who hit it, wasn't it? Again, just to recap for those of you watching the United States, our colleague Shaka Hislop is faring well. He's well and fit and heading back away from the stadium to all of those of you who might have been still concerned about his well-being. That is good news indeed, as AC Milan make, I believe, 10 changes.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. Gianni Reinder is going to come on, one of their new arrivals. Theo Hernandez. For all the commentators union out there, Casey, I think I speak for us all by saying I'm glad this doesn't happen in the regular season. I mean, there's been a lot of complaints about
the 5 subs.
Subs, but how about 10 at one go? It'll take us a while to sort out who is out there and who isn't. We will bring you back. We saw Simon Kaye come out. I know Rafael Leao, I believe. De Ketelaere is also out there. Silemakers, 2 Belgians are out. Malik Zhao is also on. Olivier Giroud has replaced Lorenzo Colombo. Simon Kjær, the hugely experienced Danish international. Changing goal as well. The number 1 is back in, Mike Maignan. And it's Vinny. Lovely. Luka Modric, little impudent flick. Theo Hernandez sporting the pink hair is left flattened in his own penalty area, but it's all Real Madrid at the moment. And it comes towards Rodrigo.
Yeah, just how hard that is for a side to make those kind of changes in the run of play and then get into the match as quick as possible.
Vinny Jr. bringing one of the biggest roars of the night out of this crowd. Just almost ghosting through Silemakers like he wasn't there, Casey.
Yeah, again, Silemakers coming into the game a little bit cold, and Vinny having that 20 minutes since halftime.
Here's De Ketelaere onto Giroud, who stays down after a fairly meaty challenge. Olivier Giroud sporting the new platinum blonde do. Well, for those of you keeping count, these were the subs that came on. Yassine Adli was the one I had missed. Back to the French keeper. He's at the start of his 3rd season now. Milan, Theo Hernandez, start of his 5th. 2 French components of the Milan defence. This is one of their Belgians, Silemakers. Good stretch from Tchouameni to pick it off. Vinny Jr. had been struggling to get back onside. Salamaca's side to Hadley. Good looking cross, Giroud's header! Great save from Lunin. Olivier Giroud with a wry smile. And well, he might smile because he's doing everything right here with the header, Casey.
Yeah, it was a really good spell of possession from Milan, and Giroud just comes into the middle. Excellent cross into the box. That flicked header. Lunin makes the good save, and then Fran Garcia does just enough to put off Luca Romero, and Lunin was able to then get back up and collect the ball and alleviate the pressure. But it was a good spell from Milan that led to that really nice header and even better save.
Well, Lunin, who was possibly at fault for Romero's goal in the first half.
I wouldn't necessarily go as fault, but definitely I think would have looked at that and said,
could have done better.
Yeah, could have done a little better there. My positioning was a little off and made that little hop to the opposite direction and just wrong-footed him, but then clearly made up for it with that fantastic save.
Quarter of an hour to go at the Rose Bowl. The crowd absolutely lapping this up.
And in these types of matches, this is what you want to see. Two teams that are committed to attacking, committed to taking players on. 4 goals between them, and
wow, loves to take players on, and that shot was goal bound, and the follow-up is wide. What a chance for Luca Romero to get on the score sheet again.